Sai Ram, and welcome back to another episode of My Sai in 100 Years of Sai, a Hillside series that brings together devotees who have lived, led, and loved under Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba's guidance. Each story we share is a glimpse into the infinite light of Swami's love, a light that continues to shine even in the darkest of times. Today's episode is titled Sai in Crisis, Hope in Dark Times, where we look back at one of humanity's most testing periods, the COVID-19 pandemic, and reflect on Swami's teachings, giving us courage, clarity, and compassion when the world seemed uncertain. Our guest today is Sr Sarojeni Murli, a devoted daughter of the Sai mission. Having grown up in a Sai household, she imbibed Swami's teachings from a young age. Over the years, she has served as a Bhavikas Guru, education convener, and later as Centre President, providing steady guidance and hope, especially during the pandemic years. Her journey stands as a testimony that true leadership is not about position or power, but about prayer, perseverance, and presence. Aum Sri Sai Sarojeni, and welcome to the show.
My salutations to Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, Aum Sri Sai Ram, Brother Dineshran.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's truly wonderful to have you. So, Sarojeni, let's start at the very beginning. How did your journey with Swami begin?
My journey began in the mid-70s when Swami's Leelas and Mahimas were fast going around in the Durban area. There were many miracles that were taking place in devotees' home. And my parents visited one such home in Isipingo. And when they returned back, they had a bottle of blessed water and they had a picture of a very young Swami, and in it was Shirdi Baba and Lord Krishna. And my father told me, this is God and he lives in India. I must have been around 9 or 10 years old at that time. And it didn't really sink into me, And later, my grandfather's brother lived next to us. So in the 70s, both the households used to get together, and a few of our neighbors and the children, we used to have service at their home every Monday. My aunt used to attend the My Sai Centre, and she used to bring the copies, and we all, the children off the road, used to sing, and that's how I came to know about Swami and, learn about him. Later, I joined the Hillside Centre in 1992, and that's my journey began.
You've been a Hillsider since then.
Yes.
So, let's shift to a point now that changed the rhythm of life. I think for all of us, the COVID-19 pandemic, right? How did COVID affect your approach to leadership and your leadership style?
Brother Dineshran, this all happened on Swami's birthday started from Swami's birthday in 2019, when we were all having our dinner outside. And there were a group of young adults who were eager to take on posts, and they willingly said, I'll be the devotional, I'll be the educational, I'll take on youth. And then they said, who will be the president? And not even thinking at that moment or what I was saying or committing to, I said, yes, I'll be your president. And we were all eagerly waiting in 2020 to assume our roles and looking forward to the journey. Little did we realize that the COVID-19 pandemic would bring such crisis to us. Brother, leadership comes with some challenges. But for us, the COVID-19 showed an ultimate test of our leadership. Baba always says to be a good leader, you must first be then do, and see, and then tell. I strongly believe in this. And I prefer to be a B-style leader that is more participative and involving rather than being autocratic and just delegating stuff. But with the COVID-19, we saw there was limitation to direct contact with people and that face-to-face contact. So the way we did things previously was going to be changed. So it meant I had to change and adapt to the crisis. So I saw the adaptive leadership coming in as well.
Definitely, COVID was something our entire organization had never experienced or any type of pandemic. So it was new not only for you but for
the entire country,
yes,
and the world at large.
Yes, definitely something quite scary. But Swami often said, the test of devotion is not in comfort but in crisis. So it's during those moments that your true leadership definitely emerges, and I'm sure you would have definitely noticed that as well. Leadership that listens, uplifts, and serves with love. So, Aunt Sarojeni, what were your initial thoughts when all the restrictions were put into place? When gatherings and centers had to close?
Initially, I was very sad and disheartened when we had to close the doors of the ashram. Yeah, I had a bit of mixed feelings, confusion, anxiety, fear of the unknown.
Definitely was scary. I think many of us also felt the same personally as well. Because what do? You're so used to you coming for satsang on Thursday, you have bhajan practice, and now you're just sitting at home. You can't even interact with devotees, which is something we so much require as
and
devotees.
We used to, that's what we've been doing, so we didn't realize at that point how we were going to take this all back to our devotees, who were at a very confused as well, anxious, and had a lot of fear in them as well.
Especially in such a time when prayer became like the highlight of everything. Like we needed to pray because we were losing people as well, and everybody was just getting sick. Every test, obviously, but Swami reminds us, do not lose heart in times of difficulty. Every test is a step towards great strength. Your calmness must have brought comfort to so many during those early days. Can you maybe share a moment during the pandemic that truly tested your faith?
Dineshna, it happened in 2021, the second year of the pandemic. My mother had just taken her COVID vaccination, and the next day she went into the garden and she fell. She was not able to walk, and we had to rush her to the hospital. At first they thought maybe she was displaying signs of COVID because the oxygen levels were dropping, and they later found out that she had an embolism in her lung due to the fall. So it meant she had to be hospitalized for a week. You know, brother, at that time of COVID, you're lying in the hospital.
Hospital is not where you want to be.
And the saddest part is there's no one coming to visit you. And for us, the loved ones at home, the anxiety of not even being able to help them or see was the most testing times that I had to go through.
The fear of the unknown.
The fear. And you know, sometimes we know we trust Baba and we have this faith, but we're human too. And in that moment, I found myself breaking into a million pieces. And I began to sob and question Baba, you know, like, why me? Why is this happening? And all of this. And then I began to pray, and then I started to think about the teachings that Swami gives us. And he says that these difficulties that he gives to us is only to strengthen our faith and for us to purify our heart. And sorrows come, it's just like passing clouds, you know. It's there to steady our faith in God. And also for us to accept the good and the bad. For me, that's still work in progress. It's not easy
not
to
easy, no.
accept the good and the bad, but we're learning every day, and
each problem and
Each
issue we
problem,
go through, I think it makes us stronger. And that's what Swami wants. He wants us to lead us like lions, right? So lions are not majestic at birth. They become it over time.
And I thank him for the strength that he gave me, to cope with both the center activities and also Sitama, because you all know she didn't walk for 3 months at that time.
So it was a lot of work, and you had to juggle both
I had to
because
juggle both.
the center also needed you as well. But Swami says, faith is like a lifeboat that keeps you afloat in the ocean of fear. So definitely you were paddling.
Yes.
During those challenging times, was there a particular message or teaching of Swami that you held close to your heart?
I think for me, and at that time, why fear when I am here? And it was a divine message that Baba gave us of his assurance of protection, guiding us, and he's our everything. He's the doer, and he will take care of us. And all we had to do was just to have faith and surrender all our problems, all our worries at his feet, and he will do the rest.
It reminds me of Swami's words. When you have love and faith, no calamity can shake you. So definitely, Swami's words, why fear when I am here, something that should be like a constant mantra now in my head. With everything moving online at that time, especially bhajans, study circles, and then meetings. And meetings were quite often, if I can remember.
Yes.
What challenges did you face when transitioning to obviously this digital form of seva? Because prior to COVID, we weren't that digital. Meetings were very much physical. But how did you overcome everything moving digitally?
I had to adapt to that change, and while I technologically, I would say I was fairly good, but there were some things that I lacked, and I obviously had to learn quickly and to move with the times. And like you said, meetings were long. Some meetings were 3 to 4 hours, and that was a bit challenging for me because I was taking care of my mother and my mother-in-law, and to be seated there
for that time
was. But fortunately, I had the love and support of my family, who would step in when I needed to be there as well. But sometimes when they were out and those meetings were long, sometimes I had to leave the meeting a little earlier and then go and see to them, and then catch up with the regional president of what I missed and what. And I think also with the online, like you said, Dinesh, we had the center programs that were coming on board. We had regional programs coming on board. We had national, and for devotees as well. That the online programs are also becoming like a online fatigue, bring on online fatigue to them. Because you have to choose now in a day if we're having a program for Guru Purnima. So which would you choose to be? Your center one? Or your national or regional?
Everything was happening at once.
So you had to choose one and then maybe catch up and listen to the others, in your time. And for devotees as well, going online also had many challenges. Like for some, it was data. And for the older folks, some of them didn't have the luxury of a smartphone or a smart TV, so they weren't getting the online programs as well. But through my interactions, while speaking to them, many of the devotees were quite content to just have their normal satsang with their families, singing the glory of the Lord and, bringing them comfort.
Still following the 9-point code of conduct.
Yeah.
I remember Swami saying, adjust, adapt, accommodate. It's amazing how even through a screen, His presence united us all.
True.
And devotion truly found a new expression, I think, in that digital age. I myself can say I was a seva convener back then, but Seva still had to continue. People still needed help
Yes.
throughout the region and the country. So work still carried on.
There were many seva activities that
Yes.
we did, but initially everybody couldn't go out like you would normally go. You first started with 2. When we initially started seva, there were a lot of red tapes. You had to have a form filled in,
Yes.
taken to the police station, have a affidavit, and then go out and hand those groceries to the needy people. And as things began to relax, then you had less restrictions where people up till the age of 60 could go out if they felt safe and free. And we touched many hearts through the bread seva, the grocery hampers, the vitamin tablets,
Yes.
and lots of.
I think we also used to do the
winter
raso
wort
mix.
and the hot meals as well.
At that time, I think we also used to have the suits when we were going out for seva. We were given specific suits to
Yes,
wear.
thanks.
I think they were from the hospital or something.
Yeah, the beginning
The
first.
the
You had
first
to put
seva,
those,
yes.
You had to get that, and you had to have that other check thing as well. Like sometimes you see the car guards over those suits.
Yes.
Yeah, the first 2 people that I had to send out for the first server actually had to comply with all of that.
It's amazing how we're looking back 5 years, how things have changed. And indeed, Swami himself says, life is a challenge, meet it. Life is love, share it. I think COVID reminded us of both the challenge to endure and the call to love. How do you think COVID has changed the way we lead within the Sai organization today?
We still got that, we're more prepared if crisis come on end, because we now have a blueprint after going through it. So if certain things, you'll know how to react and act differently as well. And leading, I think, with more love, more empathy, listening to your people.
I think after COVID, we definitely work faster. Leadership now is more about listening than leading, as you've said. And Swami said the leader should be the first servant. It's wonderful to see how you embodied that, especially during a time when we had the fear of the unknown. Finally, Auntie Sarojeni, in your own words, what does My Sai in 100 Years of Sai mean to you?
Brother Dinesh, we are so blessed to have been born at an age where God took birth. And He's given us so much of love, grace, blessing. I often sit and I wonder, how do we actually show gratitude to the Lord who has given us so much? And to me, what comes to mind is, Baba teaches us such simple things, and He doesn't want and ask us for a lot. All He needs for us to do is to remember Him, that is Namasmarana, to listen to His stories. You can read Sai literature, or there's a lot of online discourses and programs that you can tune into. And then we need to surrender and have faith in Him. And I pray to Swami that He blesses each one of us so that with His divine love, so that we can continue with faith to serve Him.
Definitely.
In the next 100 years.
Definitely, you remind me when Auntie Dolly had mentioned one of Swami's words, and Swami had said He's given us the information for our transformation.
Definitely.
So thank you so much, Auntie Sarojeni, once again. Your story definitely reminded us that even in the times of crisis, Swami's love shone the brightest. The pandemic may have tested our faith, but with that, it also deepened our devotion, and it showed us that when the world stops, love and service continued. As Swami beautifully said, when there is darkness all around, we must be the light that guides others. And you and so many other leaders like you have become that light. To all our viewers, may we too carry that flame of faith forward. as we celebrate My Sai in 100 Years of Sai. Jai Sai Ram.
Thank you, Brother Dinesh and the podcast team. Jai Sai Ram.